Hey guys, Richie here from RW Hobbies. Welcome back for another bench update. So we're about a week early for February, but I've got a lot of stuff to go through. So I figured, hey, just do it now while I've got some time. And then, yeah, no worries. So a few things. I've got, you see behind me that the boom arm's gone. I finally got a wall mount for my camera. So the problem was my camera at the bench, it was the way the boom arm was, it was a little bit too close to the mat. So I couldn't fit in like 30-second scale and big stuff. So now it's mounted way up the wall so I can zoom in and capture bigger stuff. So that's a lot better. I've been fighting with my microphone, my Blue Yeti. Some videos audio have been a little bit crap recently, and hopefully trying to get better. What happened was my computer went for a Windows 11 update and it wiped all my settings off. And then I downloaded some Logitech G Hub thing for it, like an equalizer to get sound better, and that just turned out a lot worse. It lost all my gain, so I was my in and out microphone. So in a lot of these upcoming videos, I've actually just used the camera mic. This time I am using the Blue Yeti mic, so hopefully it is working. If it sounds crap, then it didn't work. So that's what we've been up to. So very happy to get that mounted up there. Although, like I mentioned before in my last video, this is really a temporary situation. I hope to have my own, buy my own place later this spring, early summer, and create a new YouTube studio, a man cave and stuff. Housekeeping, February the 4th, 7 p.m. UK time, 2 p.m. East Coast US time, and that'll be 11 a.m. Pacific Coast US time. I'm going to be on the live show, ISM, the live show. Paul Bretland and the crew have kindly invited me to be on the show. I'm going to do an interview. So if you want to see me be interviewed, you can check it out then on Paul's channel. I'll put a link below if I remember. If not, if you can't catch it then, it'll obviously be on demand. You can watch it whenever. So yeah, I'm gonna do an interview on there, which is really be very cool. Excited about, and that being in in a week's time on Friday the 4th. I think it's the 4th or 5th, whatever the Friday is in February. I think it's the 4th. I don't have a calendar in front of me. So yeah, it's been a productive month since I spoke to you last on the bench update wise. I've got 2 video builds done and 2 builds done off the bench, which is huge. I've had these boxes sat around all Christmas and yeah, start of the year. These giant boxes from HobbyBoss and Trumpeter, and I haven't know where to put them. They've been, to be honest, been in my laundry room on top of my dryer, and every time I put stuff in the laundry machine, I've had to move it across. So it's been a big hassle. But now these are built, I can throw the boxes away and we're done. So that's a big advantage for me. So not sure where I'm going to store these or display them because they're pretty big. So obviously we got the Hurricane 24th scale. And we got the A-6 48th scale Intruder. Now, HobbyBoss and Trumpeter, obviously the same company, sister companies. So I built a lot of them recently. So I've looked through, and 4 of my last 5 aircraft builds have been HobbyBoss or Trumpeter. And the 3 I've got, I'm going to show you in a minute, I purchased are also HobbyBoss. So it's not no particular reason, just the aircraft subject and the kit. That's why I purchased them. But building a lot of those kits recently. So yeah, so let's talk. I don't have anything in progress because obviously I finished it. So let's talk about what I finished, and let's start first with what's in the front here on my bench, which is, you're not going to see it, it's off camera, but I'll hold it up without dropping it. This guy, the Intruder in the Gulf War markings. So I'm holding it really weird over these cluster bombs and stuff. 48th scale HobbyBoss kit. Now, let you hear a fire engine in the background. Anyway, so I'm not sure my microphone pick it up. There's like sirens in the background and stuff. So I've got it back on the bench without breaking it, which is a big plus. Now, this kit, it's a handful. It's not an easy kit to put together at all. And it's not one of those where you have 2 fuselage halves and can slap them together. There's like 10 different panels going into that main structure. And if you get one slightly off, it doesn't fit correctly, the whole thing goes off. So it was a lot of work and mojo sapping to get the thing together. But I did, I got it finished. Couple of thirsts on it for me, and that was the Quinta Studios. I did a video recently, a little snippet from the build series. Used that for the first time. Looks fantastic. Super easy to use. Not much skill required. All you do basically is sand off the detail and you cut plastic, and then just put some PVA glue down and push this into place. And you got PVA glue, like an hour to get it lined up before it dries. So it's pretty easy to use. So really liked it. Like I mentioned in the video, a lot of modern stuff where it's all closed up. You're not going to see it, so I won't waste your $20, $30 on it. But if you got like something that's open or low glass and it's a subject you like, then sure, go for it. I did close the canopy on this one, so you can't really see it that great. So that was the first, and the second first was the masks. I created my own mask set. So we talked about this last belt bench video, or maybe the one before. So I got the Tamiya masking paper, which I think I have right here. This stuff. And what I did was I scanned the instructions into my computer and basically upscaled it to make it 48 scale. And then I printed it out, and then I traced them onto the paper right here, cut them out, and I had my own mask set. And it's imperative on this one because the decals are two-tone, like half light color, half dark color. So you have to get them lined up perfectly. And 90% of these guys did line up perfectly, and it looks great. First time using it, no bleed. The masking tape was great. I think you get 6 sheets in a pack, and I used like 2/3 of one sheet, and that was it. So not bad. Being Tamiya, obviously, no problem at all. So mastered up, painted a really cool Gulf War scheme. The only thing with this, HobbyBoss said use guns H19, which is sandy brown, I think it is. It's just like really tan color. It should be like a light, like desert yellow, and it's very tan. So the color's off. I came back and bleached the paintwork down, some post shading. Basically, to bleach it, added some white. A drop of white to each color, and just sprayed the middle of the panels, and you get this nice kind of faded shit, and then the rattle, of course, which annoys me. So that isn't a nose weight. So you need a lot of nose weight in this. I put in like an ounce, I think, because it's big aircraft. But the problem was one of the little like exhaust nozzles came loose. So when I pushed it back in, I knocked the pipe from the inside. So that's what's floating around inside the jet. So whatever's. So another thing with this is cluster bombs, which were cluster F. I wanted to do cluster bombs. I want to do Mark 81s. You only have one set of the pylons, so you can only do one. So I went for, being white and not like olive drab, let's do the cluster bombs. So did that, and they just wouldn't. I think the sprue was thrown in from a different aircraft because they just didn't fit the pylons. The holes in the wrong spot. So I had to fill the holes in. Bear in mind, we got 12 of these things. So I had to fill the hole, take the head seams, and then you had no pins to attach them to the pylons. So I used a little bit of super glue, and of course they weren't perfectly straight. They were just like very delicate. And then when I came to put the pylons onto the aircraft at the very end, obviously they're surrounded by cluster bombs. So whenever you touched it, they just fell off. So the air turned blue, and this thing almost ended out the window, but left it, came back, and then managed to get the pylons on, and then went back and re-glued all the cluster bombs. Now, they're not straight or anything. I did think maybe about going to Trumpeter and getting a couple of spare sprue J's, which were with the pylons, and order more pylons, because Trumpeter and HobbyBoss are really good like spare parts. They're not very expensive. They're maybe about $10 shipped from China. So I thought maybe I'll get a couple more pylons, and then this time do the Mark 81 bombs, and it'll look a little bit neater and stuff. But at this point, the aircraft's built. I'm done. I'm going to move on to my next one. I don't think I want to go back and revisit this. So that's the HobbyBoss. Again, really nice detail on the kit. You got radar, you got open panels, you got the steps and intakes that come down, all kinds of detail out of the box. But it's just tough to get together. You need to take your time with it. So that's that guy. Now, moving on to the big boy, which is this guy. And really happy how this guy turned out. Now, this is obviously 24th scale Trumpeter Hawker Hurricane Mk.IIc, C being cannons. Now, all I built this out of the box. All I added was the metal cannons, the instrument panel, Yahoo, and the fabric seat belts, which you're not going to see. Well, you can see the seat belts, but I don't think you'll see the instrument panel. Maybe. And all this comes out of the box. You got the not very much detail, but opened them up. One side opened up, so you got the gun bay, and then you got the engine on that side. You can see detailed up. And I was really happy how this guy turned out. It was such an awesome kit. It went together so well. There's no issues. I don't think I used any filler. Just the usual, a little bit along the top seam line here, just a little bit of sprue glue as always. But it went together great. I mean, no issues at all. And you see when I do, this is both of these video build series. This now on my Patreon. So if you want to see all 8 parts, you can go to my Patreon and see it right now. That's my Patreon plug. If not, you can wait till summer. It'll come on my YouTube channel. But you'll see, there's some stuff in here I didn't bother painting because you're not going to see it. So like the fuel tank, if you're not going to see the fuel tank, why paint it? And there was a tank back here too. I think maybe a fuel tank in here too. And it was kind of affecting the fit of the wing, but you don't see it because it's all closed up. So again, I just left it off. But why include that part if you're not going to see it? So as always, went through this, used Attacker lacquer paints, love them. The orange line being the lacquer paints, and did it, obviously in the grays and the green here. Great kit and great value. Like I said, AliExpress, I think it was like 60 bucks. And then with all the aftermarket, probably right around 100 bucks. So I did have some issues on this side right here. The WC, the decals all fell apart on me. And that's all another set. So it took 6 weeks to arrive and finally got the new set on and looking pretty cool. So I won't blame the decals necessarily. It's probably user error. I think I just was a little bit anxious and took them off the paper too quickly. They weren't quite ready to go. And they just kind of fell apart on me and like silvered and kind of stuff. So I just took it off and ordered another set and made it right. But there we go. Looking very cool. Really like this one. It was a lot of fun, and the great thing about this being World War II, towards the end, when you're kind of getting towards the end of the build, there weren't like tons of like gear doors and pitot tubes and stuff to put on. It's a World War II jet. It's just a couple of the gear was just like slot right on, easy, great fit. A couple of exhausts to put on, a couple of clear lights and aerial antenna, and that was it, done. So it's quite a really nice, relaxing build. Weathered up is always with my dark dirt wash for the panel lines, and then I did a pin wash around some panels with Abteilung Starship Filth, and then I did Starship Filth for my neat oils, pick out some panel lines and stuff to get that kind of effect. You can see there hopefully on the camera to get extra depth of detail. But yeah, great kit. So this is 24 scale, not as big as you can see, but not super huge. It's smaller than my 32nd scale Growler, my Super Hornet over there. So now I've got this one, I need its sister. So fortunately, Airfix announced recently they're going to release this summer a 24th scale Spitfire with really nice detail and stuff. So I'm going to buy that one and I'll build it on the channel for you guys, and we'll have the matching pairs. So we'll have the Spitfire and Hurricane. Also, I bought another, I think you might remember I bought another one of these. I bought a Mark 1. So that's the Battle of Britain era with like the Browns and stuff. So I'm going to build that one at some point too. And then one of these I'll keep and the other one I'm going to give to my brother. I think I mentioned that. But there we go. So that's my 2 completed builds. I'm glad those are done. I mean, really enjoyed both of them, really. I mean, the Intruder was a little bit of a pain and mojo sapping at times, but we got it done. I'm glad I went with that scheme and not the boring grays. It looks way better in the Gulf War scheme. And love my being British and RAF, serving the RAF, love my Hurricane Mk.IIc. So there we go. So that is it. In terms of works in progress, I don't really have anything. I think I cleared my bench. Well, I have the Tornado, but that's kind of not really much happened since last I spoke to you. So the story of the Tornado, the 32nd scale Revell one, I got a new boxing and I wanted to do it wraparound camo. So a long time ago, I exchanged my decals with somebody who wanted desert and I wanted wraparound. So we exchanged decals because the wraparound camo boxing was like out of production like 20 years ago and you can't get those decals. So I exchanged my decals and then I realized, so I was putting it all together, put a cockpit together, and I realized I have no decals for the cockpit. And I looked back and found out that the earlier version of the boxing didn't have any decals. You have to just paint everything, whereas the newer one did. So I reached out to Revell and said, hey, can I get a spare set decals? And they said, sure, it takes 6 weeks, we'll send you a spare set. So I'll get my decals in and then I'll carry on with that and build a cockpit tub and I can start. That's what's stopping me right now. I'm going to get the front end built and get the whole fuselage put together. We'll get going on that one soon. I might buy another one of those kits too. I see Sprue Brothers has 5 of them right now at the time of filming this left in stock. And I know being Revell, once these things sell out, that's it. You won't find that one ever again. So I might, for $47, I think they're a good value for a 32nd scale kit. So I might pick another one of those up. I'm watching my cart every day, make sure it doesn't drop down. Once it drops down like 3 left in stock, I think I'll pull the trigger and buy one. So that's it. Upcoming builds. I'm not sure, I can't decide what aircraft to build, so I'm going to show you in a minute a few I purchased, but they're all HobbyBoss, and I built, like I mentioned, I built so much HobbyBoss and Trumpeter stuff. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's good stuff. I just want like a break and like look at different kind of instructions and different type of kit. So I was kind of looking at Tamiya, like maybe gonna have a Tamiya F14 or something, just something a little bit different, just to kind of switch it up, because you know, going through these Trumpeter and HobbyBoss stuff, it just gets a little monotonous doing the same thing over and over. I feel like I need a little bit of change of different kind of graphics and different text and stuff of instructions, just something a little bit different to do maybe. But I am going to do a monkey bike. Now I've had this monkey bike for a while. I even done a review of this a while back. This little Tamiya monkey bike, 125. They're like 25 bucks, and they're really amazingly detailed. You get like a nice like cushion, like material, like seat. You get the chrome. These are great little kits. But I was going to do it in the camel yellow because I have some camel yellow left. But then I found on Blue Stuff do decals. Really cool. I'll put a little picture up if I remember. They do decals for like the racing bike, like MotoGP racing bikes, and you can get them like all famous kind of like tobacco like liveries. You can get like for the monkey bike. So I thought that's really cool. So I'm going to do this in a Repsol theme. The Repsol Honda, I think it is, with like the fluorescent orange and the red and the dark blue, I think it is. So I'm going to paint this up in the Repsol, so I think make it really cool. So I got to order a couple of fluorescent paints, and I'm going to work on this as well, plus an aircraft once I figure out which I want to do. So, talking about purchases. So, a few things arrived since we last spoke. Aero masks, I've got a few of their sets in. Now, Jim over there is a really nice guy. I've had a little hit and miss with this one. I've used them a few times. Half the time worked great, half the time not so great. I think last time I used these were on my little Great Wall Hobby semi-second scale F15 build. And what happened there, if you remember, it left a lot of adhesive on there when I pulled them off. And I didn't quite know how to handle that. And I think I used the wrong products and ended up having to repainting the whole thing. Whereas now I know like a little WD-40 or something will just remove the whole thing. So 3 sets. And these are really good value aero masks. He's a great guy. And these are like half the price of some of the other brands out there. I think they're around about $12 maybe each. So I bought a few. Obviously, the bigger the scale, a little bit more expensive they get. So I got the 32nd scale. Talk about Tornado. So I thought, why not? I bought a couple more, so why not get the Tornado one? So I got, for my wraparound camo, for my 32nd scale Rebelle, we've been talking about, I've got my mask, which is pretty straightforward, really. It's kind of lazy on my part, but it's just a straightforward 2-tone camo mask for the Tornado. Now, this one's way more complicated and definitely needs a mask, is the Vigan. I talked about last time, the 48 scale. Now, this is pretty much essential. Excuse me, the AJ37 in the beautiful camo marking. Now, I did have a crazy idea that maybe when I move and get my new studio, that I'm doing accent wall, maybe the Vigan camo, but who knows. And then finally, the F14A, the Iranian ones, because the Iranian ones are a little tricky. And, well, I'm just being lazy again. I could easily mask this myself. You know, like we talked about creating my own mask, or we could just using the old tack worms and stuff. It's not a difficult one, but I got the Iranian one. It says for the Tamiya kit. I'm sure it working at HobbyBoss. It's still an F14, right? So they had a free lawn mask I got from Aero Masks. They have tons of different versions on there. I have been piquing my interest, at least recently too, about the new SU-27 from Great Wall Hobbies in 48 scale. I'm thinking about buying that one and doing it in the Ukrainian Digicamo, and he has the Digicamo masks as well. So that might be coming up on the channel soon as well. Reaching across to my table here. I went to Hobby Lobby and got some new airbrush cleaner. I like the Tamiya airbrush cleaner. It's great. It works for all like lacquers and stuff, but you can't get it in the US right now. It's supply chain issues or whatever. You can't get hold of it. So I'm really short. So I saw this stuff in Hobby Lobby. It's the Iwata airbrush cleaner in like a spray. It's Media, M-E-D-E-A, but it's Iwata. You can see the Iwata logo right there. Comes in this big bottle of $10. Now, I tried it out, and it's not bad. It works fine with acrylics, and it's basically same as this stuff, the Vallejo. It's very similar, if not the same kind of like product. But this one comes in this bottle, and you get a lot more. You get like 3 times as much for like $2 more. So if you're using Vallejo airbrush cleaner, you might want to check the Iwata one. It has like little soapy stuff to it, and it just seems very similar, these two. I'm not sure the products, exactly what's inside them or not, but it just seems very, fine. But when it comes to my lacquers, it doesn't work great for lacquers at all. But if you clean out the airbrush with like lacquer thinners and then just spray a little bit at the end of this, it just cleans it off, I guess, and cleans the airbrush. But yeah, if you're an acrylic painter, then yeah, this stuff seems to be okay. And it's a huge bottle, and I think the purpose of the spray is it kind of sprays it down so it gets inside that airbrush and helps clean it a little better, I think, is the design with this. But what is it, like 16 ounces or 18 ounces in this one? And you get what? 6.76 ounces in this one. All right, let's look at the kits. So we alluded to some of these last time around, but actually received them now. So we got this guy. I've done a review of this one already. The HobbyBoss A-6E 48 scale Persian cat. Looks a great kit. I do have a little buyer's remorse. I kind of wish I got the Tamiya one now, because it's a little bit more expensive. It's just a great fun build. Now, I'm not sure how this is going to build up. It looks pretty nice. We'll see, but it's hard to get a happy mask set for this. I think Flying Lemonheads do one, but Edward don't do one. And then I'm just kind of thinking about time I pay for a Mars set and all the rest of the stuff. Tamiya one's not like going to be that much more expensive. So who knows? I might end up getting Tamiya one and selling this on eBay. But one way or another, we'll get a Persian F14 out of it. So it's that guy. Next up, knocking my jets over. Another HobbyBoss, the 48 scale Warthog, the A10A. Now I bought this and literally a day after Academy announced they're going to release an A10, but there's going to be a C version, not the A, so I think we're good there. But just a few little things I bought extra for this as well, I think it needs. And Winter Studios, another one of the cockpit sets. I like the A6 one, and this one's pretty open, so I thought, why not? So got that guy. Got the markings. If you remember, I was going to do it in the Arctic camo, which is that guy right there at the bottom. The main thing of a Warthog is this like the big gun at the front, right? The big cannon. So I got the GAU-8 from Master, the photo etch cannon. This is a few bucks. This is really cheap. And as always, a Canopy Mars set. Now I might splurge and get the phase hanger. They do the resin seat with the like the sheepskin fabric, sheepskin kind of look on it. So I might get that as well. So this is pretty much ready to go. Really, I got everything I need. The seat. If I do get a seat, I don't need that till the very end. So doing this one in the Arctic camo. And who would know? Did some research on this. 1977, this guy came out. Not the kit, but the real aircraft. Can you believe that? It's been around that long? That's like, blows my mind. Like 45 years this has been around, this aircraft. Who'd have known? Just a beast, right? It's, yeah, 1977. And the final one, you guys have seen me do the review of this already. The Super Hornet, the FA-18F by HobbyBoss. Now, looking at this kit, I've not built it yet, but it seems nicer than the Meng I've built. It's much more refined, the power lines are much more in scale, but the proof in the pudding, obviously, you see how well this thing goes together. Now, you don't get, here's a negative to this one, you don't get, compared to the Meng, you don't get a Mars set, you don't get the pilot figures, you don't get all like the nice ordnance like they have in the other kit. You do get a lot of stuff in here, but not quite as nice, but the actual aircraft itself, I think it looks nicer in plastic on this HobbyBoss. Now, it does come with a buddy refueling pod, and like I mentioned, I'm going to do a air-to-air refueling diorama, so I'm going to build two of these, one refueling off another. Now, somebody pointed out in my last video that it's actually the wrong pod they put in here. They put the old refueling pod. It's from like a, I forgot what it is, from the era before, so the older refueling pod, and this one's inaccurate. You can, so I went on Sprue Brothers, and I think Wolfpack does a corrected version for about $14.99. But for me, I don't know if I'm going to spend $15 on a pod. If a pod's a pod, I mean, if it's, I don't care about historical accuracy. If it's slightly off, I think I might choose one out of the box, to be honest with you, say $15. But yeah, if you are building this and you do want to use a pod, it is inaccurate. And again, Wolfpack do a resin one for $15, and there we go. That's what I got purchased. Trying to think, that's pretty much wraps it up. So let's shoot around the Facebook group real quick, and I'll be right back to kind of say my goodbyes and wrap this up. Okay, so here's our little Facebook group, the RW Hobbies Model Makers Club. Again, link below if you want to join. It's totally free. It's Facebook, right? So I picked out 5 posts in the past month. I'm going to share with you guys. I don't waffle on like I did last time for an hour. But first one here is MJ's Model Jets. He shared a post. And what he's basically done here is you can read the text here, but he's created his own custom kind of dio base for his Russian aircraft. And when I pull this up here, you can see how awesome these look. Again, scratch built. And the thing with these guys it just really sets off the aircraft, the build. I think I use a lot of the coastal kits bases, and I find it just really, really makes the display look a lot nicer when you have a little base below it. And here he's created his base, and with certain effects, and you see the detail in here, some grass growing up through the concrete lines, joins. I just thought it's really cool, really well done, and it's just really make your aircraft set off. And then I think he used a Foxbat early next. Well, there it is again. See some wet effects he created, like a wet, damp airfield, the lines painted on. And there it is with the aircraft. Just a cool base, gives great idea inspiration, so I kind of wanted to share that one. Second one up is Paul, and he's created his, he's posted his 32nd scale Rebelle FW190. I looked at this and like, look at this detail here in the engine. I thought it was really cool. Some modeling going on, and yeah, I thought it was really cool. I mean, actually, I think further up, he actually did a, he finished it. Scroll through here real quick. Excuse the scrolling. There you go. I think here's a finished one. Again, like detail, the wiring and stuff. Look very cool. All right, next up is Paddy, and I think he was a little harsh himself in his comments, but I think it's really well done. A 1 to 350 scale Enterprise. Now this thing is massive. There we go, with a full air wing pretty much on there. It looks like, ooh, I can't quite see. Is that Grim Reapers maybe? But it's a lot of work gone into this. It looks pretty impressive. My local hobby shop has one of these on display. And yeah, somebody built like a custom glass cabinet for it. And it's there. These things are massive and a lot of work gone into this. Like people, even the people on the deck, see all the crew. Very, very nice done indeed. It's and we're talking about super tiny stuff here too. It's not easy. I tried a 1/700 scale aircraft carrier once, and then after trying to paint the aircraft, the whole thing ended up in the trash can. 1 to 350 might be a little bit better scale, but these things are not easy to build. See how big it is. Massive. Just all the detail, you know, just your eye, everywhere your eye goes, you can see like people and aircraft moving and just a busy deck. All right, next up, fourth one is Dan Croak. If you haven't checked his channel out, go check it out, Dan Cave. Right there, Dan Cave. And he's got beautiful Toyota Taka Q. This thing looks flawless. Now this, I actually have a slot car from years ago, this same scheme. It's just a really eye-catching scheme. I know a lot of work went into this and it looks absolutely fantastic. Very, very cool. Looks like it's been 2K'd, really nice shiny glass coat. Decals look great. And there it is. And which kit is this? I think it's the Hasegawa maybe? Hasegawa 24 scale. Toyota 88C Taka Q. And finally, because it's Tornado, Dave has posted up a picture of a, gee, what scale is it? Did he say? But the nice Tornado GR4 and the farewell markings. What caught my eye here was just the nice weathering and paint work. Looks very, you know, actually does look real realistic. Like even on the drop tanks, just really nicely well weathered, built. This is an easy kit to put together at all. And he's got the pilot figures in there. Must be aftermarket, and just looks a really great, nicely painted, weathered Tornado. So that is it for the group. I just want to run through the those 5 which caught my eye, and I'll come back next week and next month and talk about a few more. So let's go back to me. So there we go. That's it. Some great work. Very humbled by everybody who's joined and supported. We're over 200 members, and that's like a space of like a month or something. So really cool. If you want to join, be in the show notes below the link to Facebook. It's obviously free. It's Facebook. And I'm not a big Facebook user personally, so I just use it for checking modeling stuff, basically. Now, a couple of things. So firstly, I've had to delete a few posts, and Facebook and all social media, you can't post pictures of swastikas or Confederate flags. So a lot of people have put up pictures of their World War II, like German Nazi aircraft, which is great. You just got to cover that swastika up or just take a photograph of it at a certain angle, because if we've got a bunch of swastika posts all over my group page, it's going to get taken down by Facebook. So just ask if you just follow the rules. Some of the rules, but just kind of don't keep those off. I'm not saying it's good or bad. Just that's just the rules we have to follow. Unfortunately, it's a free platform, so we just have to follow what they say. So that's that part. The second thing is, like I mentioned, I don't use Facebook much. Some people, not a lot of people, but send me like friend requests. I'm not going to accept friend requests people I don't personally know, just because that sound like a dick. I don't interested in seeing like life events. Like some people on Facebook like post up like every time they go to the beach and like 10 posts a day about what they're eating and stuff, that kind of thing. And my own page is just a few pictures of me and my kids maybe, and that's it. There's nothing interesting on there, so you can message me about being a friend. So unless I know you, I'm probably not going to accept your friend request. So nothing personal, but again, I don't need 100 people who just follow my channel I don't really friends with. It's, you know what I'm saying? So just that thing. And Other than that, if you want to join, you don't have to post stuff. You can just lurk, thumbs up, like make comments, ask questions, that kind of stuff. So that's it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start working on the monkey bike, figure out what aircraft I'm going to do. Maybe the Thunderbolt, maybe I end up with a Tamara F-14, who knows. And I'll be back in about a month for my next update. So thank you for watching as always. Appreciate the support. If you haven't done so already, please hit the thumbs up. Consider joining my Patreon if you want to help support the channel. And I'll see you next time.